how could I say, two groups of settings we need to configure. The first one I'm calling here the backend settings. As you know, the name suggests, is the settings I need to set on the portal, and those settings will be the same. Some of them we can split between different groups, but most of them, they will be the same for the whole tenant. If you have 10 onboard devices, or if you have 10,000, those settings, they will be pretty much, the same. I will show in a few seconds. But the second thing is the settings we need to deploy on every single device. Okay, because of course those settings we can say how strict Defender for Endpoint should be when something happens, when and how I want to run a scan. I want to run a scan for Windows 10 every day at lunchtime. But my servers, I want to run a full scan every day at 3 a.m. All of those settings we need to deploy on each individual device. And then, depending the device you are using, we have a different way to manage. If we are talking about Linux, okay, and then what you need to do is when we install Defender for Endpoint on Linux, we will end up having under the etc, opt, and so on, a file called mdatp manage.json. And that's the place, as the name suggests, is a JSON file where all the relevant configuration, how I want Defender for Endpoint to run on that device, will be set, okay, in here for Linux. When we are talking about Microsoft, I will show in a few seconds, when we are talking about Microsoft devices, Windows 10, Windows 11, we have a bunch of options in here. We could use Grow Policy, Configuration Manager with tenant attached. And of course, I would say, if you guys have the option, let's say as a future proof, it will be better to use Microsoft Endpoint Manager, because everything's the cloud, and slowly everybody is moving to the cloud. That would be the best option I could recommend. But again, if your company is using Grow Policy and Grow Policy is working well, you have the expertise, you have you know how it works, yeah, then it's very easy. You can just, I will show now, just add the Defender for Endpoint settings into there. Okay, let me pause for a second and show how it works. If I go back to my portal, okay, and here, again, I'm here on the security.microsoft.com. Let me go down to settings. And then now what I want to show is how to configure the backend settings, the settings that will be applied for the entire tenant, for the entire organization. If I click on Endpoint, yeah, there you go. Very important. Here is the advanced features. I'm not going to read everything, but here is the place, as you can see, where you enable, disable, or what you want to do. For example, let me just get this one here. Okay, the first one is the live response. It means when the analysts are looking for looking for alerts, if eventually a server one is compromised, the live response is absolutely brilliant, because they can engage, they can start, it's like a PowerShell session, and then eventually use some additional commands to investigate each device. This one here, live response, actually is only for Windows 10 and Windows 11. If I want to allow my analysts or security analysts to connect the servers, and then I need to enable live response for servers. And then I have other options here. Let me just focus. Very important here. If I want to enable the EDR, okay, as a block mode, if there is any behavior monitor, something happening a little bit weird, I want to block any execution coming from there. That's the one I told you a few minutes ago. Automatically resolve alerts. Microsoft do the investigation, do the auto investigation. If there is nothing behind, there is no concerns about the alert, yeah, we can, with this option on, the alert will be closed automatically. If I want to block files or not. And very important here, I just want to show a few of them. Yeah, if you want to allow Defender for Endpoint to be connected with other security tools. The first one is the Office 365 Threat Intelligence. The next one is the Microsoft Defender for Cloud App. Here is brilliant because if I connect Defender for Endpoint and Cloud App, is the place where I can control to allow or not the users to run any app from Windows 10, Windows 11, and so on. I can set, very important as well, I will show in a few seconds another slides. If I want to connect Defender for Endpoint into Intune to get some benefit from device compliance, from risk analysis and things like that, very important and so on. Unfortunately, I won't have time, to explain one by one. But anyway, here's, very important for you to go and do the analysis, just to check if that is relevant or not for your organization. But, if you enable all of them or most of them, definitely your organization will be in a better place. Before I move to the next level, here on the device groups, as the name suggests, is the place where I haven't created yet. Here is the place where I can create device groups. For example, have a group for servers, another group for Windows 10, another group for Windows 11, and then some of the configuration I can do is eventually, if there is a file, any exe file I want to block for everybody, or maybe I need to block only on the servers, but it's fine to run from the workstations. And then I could come here, add, what's the name? Let's call Windows, Windows 10 and 11. That's fine. Now, very important, guys, very important here is what is going to be the remediation level for those devices. If there is anything happening, I want the level to be fully to remediate it automatically. Eventually, if that is too much for you, as you can see, we can downgrade the level as well. But here, the advice from Microsoft in these days is to do fully automatic. And then I could click next. Now is, how I'm going to identify the devices to be part of this group. As you can see, can be via name. If your organization has a standard where every single device starts with Windows 10, and then whatever is the name, easy enough. I could do like that. Otherwise, we can add the tags. This is what I've been doing on my project. Every single server I'm tagging as Win server. Every Linux server I'm tagging as Linux server, and so on. Let me just leave for the moment like this. Win 10. Win 10. Okay, then click next, submit, continue, and pretty much, okay, job done. Now I need to apply the tag, okay? Why that is benefit is, important. First, because here is a place where we set the, to have the system fixing things automatically. And second, very important, is here. If I go over the indicators, okay, indicator is the place where I kind of control what I want to whitelist and blacklist when it comes to file hashes, IP addresses, URLs, and certificates. If I go to URL, just clicking there, and then there is a website I want to block, I could click on add. What's the URL? Is HTTPS, and then Facebook, just pretend Facebook X, or maybe what the guys try to do, Facebook, .com. Oops, instead always, 00. Okay, that's fine. Now I can click on the next, and then here what I want to do. I want to allow, I want to audit. No, I want to block, that thing. Then I want to create an alert. Block URL, and then finally the place, here there are other things I can set. It's going to be a medium threat level, description, just to keep simple, block, click on next, and then now here is the place where we can set the device scope. Is not yet available. Here's the group, okay? Because I can have different rules for different groups. Because I just created the group, sometimes it takes a few minutes in order for the Microsoft to replicate that. If I click next, and then click on save. Yeah, there you go. From now on, yeah, anybody on my organization, if someone try to go to Facebook with 00 instead, all the device is going to be blocked. Okay, and then later on we can change the scope when the configuration is becomes available. Okay, anyway, that's the place from the backend configuration we can do.